You've seen the film, now it's time to break it down. In this video, I'm going to share some insights and take you behind the scenes on a fitness shoot I did with Sony and Burnt Studios. If you're not shooting on Sony cameras, don't run away because the focus here is more on the overall production from lighting to audio and support gear. To start things off, the entire video was shot hand-held, even the dolly shots where I sat on a skateboard, so no gimbals or tracks were used. With in-body image stabilization, it's possible to do these type of shoots without a rig, but having some nice handles and extra weight makes it a lot easier to get those smooth movements. For this shoot, I used a small rig full cage for the A7 Mark IV with some added accessories. With tracking shots, I always find that two handles give me the best results. And in this case, I just took my top handle and actually put it on the side and made it sit just in the right place to use my follow focus. Although I have a mini rail for the follow focus, I opted for the dual rails because it adds extra weight. Your goal with any rig is always to make sure it is balanced in your hands without the weight pulling forward or backwards. The lighting was pretty simple, although time consuming to set up. I used 3 different types of lights. For the background, a bunch of nanlite power tubes because they look like practicals, and even when they stand up straight, it doesn't distract like a normal light. We used cable ties to attach the longer tubes to the ceiling, and the rest was either on stands on the ground or attached magnetically to the gym equipment. Not one of the scenes had a single setup that looked the same, so we continually moved the lights around between shots. On these lights, I went for a cooler temperature to create just a little color contrast, with the key light a bit warmer at a fixed daylight Kelvin. Overall, my aim was to go for high contrast visuals with darker shadows to create a bit more drama to go with the intense music. I used 2 types of key lights based on the scenario. First, a power tube on a boom arm with a diffusion silk hanging over it. I got this idea from Cooper Films and his amazing piece called Make Your Dream, the real inspiration behind this film. The idea is to let the tube shine down, and the silk just has a beautiful way of spreading the light more gradually from top to bottom. I did, however, shoot some shots on an f4 lens and needed a bit more power, especially on the wide, so here I used my Nanlite Forza 500 with a parabolic softbox and a grid. At all times, I tried to shoot from the shadow side, also known as upstage lighting, with the key light hitting our model from the side at an angle of about 60 degrees, except for some of the close-ups where I didn't want to have that stark contrast in the face. Comparing the wides with the close-ups, you can see how the face is just generally lit better, not only with more fill but also with softer light. That's because I moved the lights further away for the wides to be out of frame and then much closer for the tight shots. The bigger your light source and the closer it is to your subject, the softer the shadows will be, with a more gradual roll-off from highs to lows. The visuals overall have the same language, with a key light from the side, a portion of shadows, and a sharper but cooler rim light to create separation. And this to me is what makes the visuals feel so dynamic. I used the Nanlite Forza 60B paired with the projector attachment for a focused rim light, and running it off a V-mount battery made it easy to move around for each shot. This light was a great way to motivate the power tubes from behind, but also to create some flares when shooting directly into the light. On that note, you might have noticed some strange flares here and there, but they were most certainly not coming from the lens, but was actually created in post in Resolve, and I feel like they add a nice touch to the film. To get even more depth, we use a hazer, and here it's always important to try and spread the haze around as even as possible and to let it settle to avoid seeing it move around like smoke. As for audio, a film of this nature is really difficult to sound design in post, and I decided to bring in a Foley artist. The challenge, however, was the general noise in the gym being dominated by the sound of crickets and cars passing by a busy street. Jason quickly identified the bathroom as the ideal place to record the sounds, not only because it was quiet, but also because it had the right amount of acoustic to sound like it could be in the gym. We had our model do a variety of workouts and recorded a whole bunch of breathing sounds at different tempos, and these sounds really brought the edit to life. The only sound we actually recorded in the gym was the silt bike, because it overpowers the external sounds. Using an on-site Foley artist has many benefits, and doing the sound in post was an absolute breeze compared to how long it usually takes me if I do it myself in post from scratch. The flow between shots were really easy in the edit because of the similar up and down movements, making it easy to do match cuts. More importantly was the shot list. I had every type of exercise planned out according to what Marika felt comfortable with and she knew she was good at. For example, the boxing. Marika has a lot of experience here, which comes through in an authentic and powerful way. I specifically chose her because of her athletic ability to exercise really hard, but also because she's a working actress, which made directing her super easy. If I missed anything and you have any more questions, feel free to drop it in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.